It's Friday, November 22nd, 2024, the Friday before Thanksgiving. Welcome to episode 130 of the Alameda Postcast, an audio service of the Alameda Post. I'm your host, Scott Peeler. In this edition of the Postcast, a suspect in custody after Lincoln Middle shelters in place. The City Council addresses homelessness and approves a response to the Port of Oakland. Guaranteed basic income comes to Alameda County. The Rotary Club lends a hand to 17 community organizations. Wet weather means sandbags available for the taking. The latest in real estate sales, and the torch is officially passed at Julie's. These stories and more on this episode of the Alameda Postcast. Our top story. Last Friday, Lincoln Middle School practiced a shelter-in-place protocol when an adult intruder was found on campus. According to a statement provided to the Post from the City of Alameda on behalf of the Alameda Police Department, when the individual was escorted off the property, a school administrator noticed that the individual was in possession of a knife. The shelter-in-place order continued after the intruder had left the property, eventually being lifted at 3:19 p.m. The shelter-in-place order was extended to other schools in the area, effective through the end of their after-school programs. Those schools were Maya Lynn, Love Elementary, Ruby Bridges, Payton Elementary, and Encinal Junior and Senior High. As of 5:30 that evening, APD reported that a suspect who was believed to be the individual in question had been arrested. Police learned that earlier in the day, the individual had been seen on the St. Joseph Notre Dame campus. The city also noted that APD had advised Alameda schools to request stay-away orders for when the individual is released, and if they are seen on any school campus, safety protocols should be enacted and the APD contacted. In the end, no further incidents were reported. For a full look at the events of last Friday, including the communications from Alameda Unified to parents, see Kelsey Gore's article at alamedapost.com/news. This past Tuesday, the City Council accepted the 2024 progress report on The Road Home, a city's 5-year strategic plan to prevent and respond to homelessness in Alameda. Health and Human Services Manager Simone Falls reported that despite the city nearly doubling its capacity to shelter and house its residents over the last 3 years, unsheltered homelessness is increasing and the need for investment remains. Since 2021, the city has quadrupled its temporary housing supply. The Midway Shelter continues to provide 25 beds for women and children experiencing homelessness and domestic violence. The Day Center Overnight added 17 emergency overnight beds. Emergency Supportive Housing added 24, and Dignity Village added 61. Starting in December, the Homeless Warming Shelter will add an additional 20 to 25 beds through March. However, point-in-time survey data shows that from 2022 to 2024, the city saw a 72% increase in homelessness from 264 to 455 individuals. Looking at Alameda County as a whole, Albany, Dublin, Hayward, Livermore, Newark, and Oakland saw increases, while Berkeley, Emeryville, Fremont, Piedmont, Pleasanton, San Leandro, and Union City saw declines. Technology and coordination have become two important tools in the fight against homelessness. All programs serving unhoused people in the city now fully participate in the Homeless Management Information System. This database tracks homeless individuals and families, allowing service providers to share data and coordinate services. The city strives to ensure service providers meet regularly to share resources and improve coordination. The city has conducted a needs assessment. Among the findings, a need for housing for seniors and the difficulty of sheltering large families. Another problem, staff retention. There is a need for case managers who can help individuals navigate the entire housing process. There is already a staffing shortage, and low pay makes it even more difficult to attract and retain qualified employees. Councilmember Tracy Jensen requested that updates on this subject be delivered annually instead of the current practice of every few years. In other business, the council reviewed city staff's response letter to the Port of Oakland in wake of the planned addition of an additional terminal to the Oakland Airport. As reported in last week's episode, the city has taken issue with the conclusions of Oakland's final environmental impact report, notably citing concerns over noise and air quality. The council voted 4-0 to support the letter to the Port Board. Councilmember Trish Herrera Spencer was absent. To take a closer look at the many agencies involved in the city's fight against homelessness, including ways you can help, see Karen Jensen's article at alamedapost.com/news. As I mentioned last week, the warming shelter needs your support as they prepare to open. Find details at christchurchalameda.org. Click on Homeless Ministries. Of course, homelessness is just part of a larger web of issues: mental health, addictions, PTSD, and of course, poverty. United Way Bay Area is taking steps to try to untangle that web. On Monday, UWBA launched their first Guaranteed Basic Income program in Alameda County. 100 families received $3,000 and will then receive $1,000 a month for the next 12 months. In addition to the payments, the families will also receive customized financial coaching and planning. This is a crucial part of the puzzle, as for years the World Economic Forum has placed America's financial literacy rate at about 50%, meaning half of Americans cannot answer basic financial questions correctly. Wondering how you do? Head to gflec.org and search the Big Five. The 100 families participating in the pilot program were randomly selected from client rosters at 3 Alameda County SparkPoint centers. This effort is funded thanks to a $3 million grant from the Safeway Foundation as part of their Nourishing Neighbors program. For details of UWBA's efforts, see alamedapost.com/news. The Alameda Rotary Club doing their part to help local organizations. This past Tuesday, the Rotary presented matching grants recognizing 17 Alameda organizations for their efforts: Babe Ruth, Boys and Girls Club, Alameda Education Foundation, the Food Bank, Meals on Wheels, All Good Living Foundation, Boy Scout Troop 1015, Community Action for a Sustainable Alameda, Dignity Moves, Dine and Connect, Feather House Foundation, First Presbyterian Church, Friends of the Alameda Animal Shelter, Friends of Alameda Parks and Recreation Foundation, Girls Inc., Midway Shelter, and Rhythmics. Find Robin Seeley's article at alamedapost.com/features. We're talking about atmospheric rivers again. So far, it looks like the worst of it is to the north, but our low-lying islands still subject to localized flooding. Once again, the city has made sandbags available at Alameda Point on Lexington Avenue at West Ranger. Residents are welcome to take 5 bags from the self-service facility. Details on the city's Facebook page. Keep track of truly local weather conditions at alamedapost.com/weather, unless you're particularly interested in the weather at the airport.
Temperature at the airport is 88 degrees. Which is stupid, man, because I don't know anybody who lives at the airport.
The real estate market here in Alameda appears to have cooled off just a tad, but homes are still going above asking price for the most part. Still considered a seller's market with around 6 weeks of inventory available. A healthy inventory is considered 5 to 6 months. Below that mark, it's a seller's market. Above it, a buyer's market. Liz Rush takes a look at the 16 properties that have sold in the last 2 weeks. You can find those numbers at alamedapost.com/features. If you're looking for live theater, this is your last weekend to catch a couple of shows. Encinal High School presenting The Outsiders, based on the S.E. Hinton novel, and yes, the same book that inspired the classic Francis Ford Coppola film. Gene Kahane took in the show last weekend, came away impressed with the performance. The show runs tonight, Friday, and Saturday. I've said it before, high school theater, arguably the best entertainment value going. If you haven't seen a high school production lately, you're missing out. Also closing this weekend, the Thanksgiving play at Altarena Playhouse, their season-ending show. Broadway World called the show, quote, sharp and on point, end quote. Show runs through Sunday. Find details at 94501.info. This past Friday, a ceremonial torch was passed as Shannon Marsden officially took ownership of Julie's Coffee and Tea Garden. An employee of Julie's since 2017, Marsden started out as a part-time bookkeeper, then became baker, then general kitchen manager, eventually general manager, and now owner. Founder and former owner Julie Barron was on hand at the ceremony to officially transfer ownership. She referred to Marsden as a dream come true, who ensures that the beloved neighborhood cafe continues to be part of the community. Marsden will be focusing on holiday orders and bringing more pie to the menu. Customers can order from a selection of 10 Thanksgiving pies on the Julie's website. Many of you will be happy to know that gluten-free options exist for those great pies. As far as Julie herself, she's looking forward to riding horses and becoming a grandmother. When asked what she will miss most about Julie, she responded, quote, definitely the customers, end quote. Find Jean Chen's article and a link to ordering those pies at alamedapost.com/features. Don't forget, from now through December 31st, donations to the Alameda Post are being matched up to $1,000 per individual and up to $25,000 in total. If you've never donated before, now's the time, as we receive bonuses for new donors. Visit omella.com/Alameda Post to give now. That's omella.com/Alameda Post. Don't forget to check to see if your employer offers matching, and you'll be able to triple your donation. For a look at weekend events, head on over to 94501.info. Among the events, the Farmers Market, comedy, and since it's the 4th Saturday of the month, the Myers House is open for tours. One of those, I've been meaning to get to that activities that's really worth the trip. Once again, 94501.info. Thank you for your support of local news for Alameda. We can't do it without you, so a heartfelt thanks from all of us at the Post. Remember, find us on Facebook, Instagram, MSN, YouTube, Mastodon, Threads, a growing Blue Sky community, as well as our own subreddit. Find the Postcast wherever you get your podcasts, or simply tell your smart device to play the Alameda Postcast podcast. I'm Scott Peeler. May you find many things to be thankful for this season. I'll be back in December with episode 131 of the Alameda Postcast.